Welcome to the Biz Gone Social podcast. We help entrepreneurs navigate how to get known, get customers, and get the edge over their competition. Here is your host, Lorraine Duncan.
So here we are on the Biz Gone Social podcast, and I'm so glad to be here. And my promise to you, as always, is I want to give you a little bit of verbal caffeine that's going to energize your business and your social media marketing and help you stay social. Because after all, don't you want to be the business that everyone's talking about? Because I know I do. And I'm just like so stoked to have a special guest on today. Who's going to talk to us a little bit about health, Patti Scallan. Welcome, Patti.
Well, thank you, Lorraine. I'm honored to be here. I'm excited to be here.
And Patti, tell everybody what you do.
Well, I am in alternative health and have been for 20 years. And I work with people. I have partnered with an amazing technology. We're the only company in the world that has this technology. But I work with people with the pillars of health because it's not just about any given product. It's about taking your responsibility for your own health.
And for those of us that don't know what the pillars of health are, can you tell me what the pillars of health are?
So the ones that I work with are hydration, sleep, stress management, movement, and nutrition. All of those pillars of health are important and are vital, but I also believe that the company that I'm partnered with, the cellular health is the foundation to all of these pillars. So I believe that all of these are standing on top of cellular health. If your cells aren't signaling, nothing much matters. So we get those cells working really well and communicating and signaling, and then we work with these pillars and it creates a vibrant health.
Absolutely. And what do you think is, out of all those pillars, what do you think is that most people have issues with? What do you think gets them off whack that you've worked with? I mean, you've worked with tons of people in the 29 years that you've been in business, but what is the biggest issue out there, would you say, that's happening?
Well, they're all so important. I would say stress and nutrition. But when we talk about stress, that comes from, there's different kinds of stress. So there's nutritional stress, there's mechanical stress, there's emotional stress, and there's environmental stress. So you have to look at the big picture. And then when it comes to nutrition, unfortunately, people don't pay attention until they hit a crisis, right? But I say, why wait for that crisis? Because then you're going to spend all this time building back up to your health. Jump in right away. Really look at what's important, and if I can give them a few quick things: drink more water, eat less sugar and less processed food, and then get out and take a walk.
Absolutely. It's so funny. I always tell people, I have a lot of friends sometimes, I got a headache today. I said, well, how much water did you drink? I mean, people they're all so quick to, when they get a headache, to take Tylenol or Advil or whatever it is that they take. And sometimes the cure can be just a simple 8-ounce glass of water.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why I say they're all so important. So our bodies are like 60-70% water. We need to be replenished that on a regular basis. And you know what? The brain the majority is water. So when people have that afternoon slump where, they want to go get coffee, don't, because coffee is a dehydration, right? Drink a glass of water and then see how much better you feel. Water is really the elixir of life. I mean, we really need to be hydrating our body and consistently. And if you do drink that coffee, you need 2 glasses of water to offset that.
Well, I'll have to remember that now because I'm drinking coffee right now.
Okay, well, you go drink water afterwards.
I will, definitely. So, I always like to, there's other businesses out there that probably compete with you. Mm-hmm. And what makes the company that you work for different than other companies, would you say, in your experience?
Okay, well, first of all, we have a medical breakthrough. We have something that no other company has in the world. We have some products that you would say, yes, competitive. Other companies have some of the things we have, but our flagship product is a standalone that is amazing. It is life changing. And so that in and of itself makes us different. The other thing is this company functions from the heart. Their ethos is about people. It's not about money. When the company was first designed, when the product was first developed, they were offered generational wealth, but told they had to stop supplying their current customers. And the owner said, well, I can't do that because it's literally keeping some of them alive. And this pharmaceutical company said, you know what? People die every day. Think of the big picture, meaning the money, right? But our company, he said, no, thank you. He said no to generational wealth for a handful of people that he was servicing at the time. He services with love, and that's how we work. We service with love, and I just think that our company is heads above so many other companies out there.
I find that to be awesome because I feel like there's so many companies out there that are just doing it for the money. And I feel like our whole food industry is about money.
Oh, I could talk to you about that for the next 3 hours.
Yeah, we will not do that, but I putting that out there because to everyone out there, the next time you're shopping and you're looking at the ingredients and they have 50 million ingredients on the package, I would think twice before buying that package because the preservatives and all the things that they use are absolutely not healthy for you at all.
Right. Well, if it's in a package, you can be pretty sure. And the truth is that 80% of your food should come from the outside perimeter of your supermarket. That's where the healthy foods are. What's in those center aisles are not. And nobody's going to be perfect, and I get that. This is why I say 80%. But if you can focus 80% on the outside perimeter, you'll be doing yourself a world of good.
They've been cheating lately, though, at the grocery stores. I see that they have other unhealthy stuff on the outside, too. They're infiltrating us.
Well, like I said, if it's in a package, it's pretty much, you turn it around, you look at those ingredients, and if there's things you can't pronounce, and the chemicals, you're literally like you think about it with you have a child. Would you just take a spoon of chemicals and feed them to that child? Well, guess what? You keep opening those potato chips and those corn chips and stuff. That's what you're doing. You're feeding them chemicals as well as ourselves.
Yeah. So how you said you were how long in total have you been? You said you.
Well, you said 29, but it's been 20 years. I've been in alternative health for 20. Okay. I had a holistic wellness center for 10 of those years, and I've been with this company for 5 years.
Oh, okay. So the reason I ask is there's a lot of people that listen that to the show that they have their own businesses.
Yep.
And so what do you enjoy most about owning your own business and being in charge?
Oh, well, first of all, the freedom, the time freedom to do what I want when I want has been amazing. I mean, it's been many years that I've been, my first career was in banking. I was a bank manager. So you're talking about a 9-to-5 job. I haven't had to do that for years. So being on my own, I can choose when I want to work, where I want to work, even if it's out on the beach, right? I just take my little computer with me. The financial, I have no ceiling. I have no ceiling of finances. I can make as much as I want to put into my business. But also what I found is like my why is not the money. My why is helping people get on track, but also the leadership. This company has given me a platform to lead a team and make more leaders out of that team. That's so rewarding. I mean, that is really rewarding.
Nice. And really even the profession you're in right now is rewarding because you're of service and helping others. I'm just curious, what was that point where you you were a banker and then you decided to move in this direction. What got you moving in this direction?
So I stopped working to raise my children. And when it was time to go back, I knew that I didn't want to be behind a desk because that's just not who I was. And I took a part-time job with a homeopathic company, and it just opened that world to alternative health. And it was mind-blowing to think that you can really heal without the use of pharmaceuticals. So that just grew into, learning more and getting, certificates and all certifications and all that. And, the rest is history. I ended up with a center that I never thought I would have. It was nothing that was on my bucket list, but I had it. And what a delightful thing to be able to help people, not just physically, but emotionally. And it was a large center, so we created a community that I was able to give back to the community. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. But I knew that I did not want to be in that box, in that cubicle, or in that office in that case.
That's awesome. We always talked about the glamour of being in business for ourselves, but I like to always talk about maybe the other side of that a little bit. What
Sure.
would you say the biggest challenge of doing the business you're doing right now is?
To be persistent and consistent. Our business is very simple. We get paid to talk to people, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Simple, yes. Easy? No, you have to stay committed. And to me, you have to have the right purpose. And, I have that passion where I've been helping people for 20 years feel better. And so for me, that was easy. But yeah, you have to keep at it. You have to keep your emotions high. I mean, I read every day motivational things. I do some meditation, and I'm learning. I'm a lifelong learner. I love to read, and so I'm constantly evolving into a better me,
And you know what? You just answered my other question, which was, how do you stay on top of what you do? And being a lifelong learner is so very important. If there was, you kind of answered this a little bit, but if there was just one piece of advice that you could give someone out there, what would it be?
I believe that you need to find a couple, 1, 2, 3 mentors that are going to push you to be the best, not to allow you to make excuses, but to push you to that next level. We all have potential. We all do. And unfortunately, our self-talk can create that self-doubt. But if you have somebody that's going to be your accountability partner, if you will. And that's what I'll say. Get an accountability partner, but get somebody who's really going to say, nope, this is what you got to do today. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I work with somebody that whenever I talk about that I'm going to do something, she always makes me, well, what date are you going to do it? So she always makes me set a date, and I'm like, oh, really? But no, it is true. They say there's a quote out there that you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around with.
Yeah.
So it's so important that you pick the right people and choose the right people to hang around with, to mentor you. And I mean, I highly recommend being mentored by someone. That's awesome. Awesome advice. If somebody resonated with you today, Patti, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, I am on LinkedIn. Spelling of my name is PattiScallan, and my website is pattiscallan.com.
Awesome. And what I'll do is when the podcast comes out, I'll literally just put all the links in the social media podcast. So until next week, everyone, I want to thank you, by the way, Patti, for being on the show. And until next week, I will see you soon.
Oh, thanks so much.
Thanks for listening to the Biz Gone Social podcast. Find us on Instagram @BizGoneSocial for extra tips. Check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, stay social.